Thank you so much for joining us with the news. My name is Amos Zulu. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President calls on traditional leaders to help monitor government programs. Teachers and pupils warned against engaging in exam malpractice. DMMU delivers tents to Sipungu Primary School in Nalolo. Plus, all sports disciplines to receive equal recognition. And now the news in detail. Vice President Mutale Nalumango has called on traditional leaders in the country to help monitor government programs being implemented in their chiefdoms. Mrs. Nalumango says government recognizes chiefs as key partners in the country's development process, hence the need for them to come on board and provide feedback on the performance of various government programs. The Vice President was speaking in Mazabuka when she met Chiefs Hanjalika Naluana and a representative for Chief Mwana Chingwala. Join Nchimunya Nalumpa with the details.
Government recognizes the important role traditional leaders play as key partners in the country's development process. And this is why Vice President Mutale Nalumango has met chiefs in Mazabuka district. The Vice President wants them to provide feedback on government programs.
We want to work together in the sense that there should be appreciation of one another and the programs that government is putting in place. Because the programs of government are for the people of your chiefdoms. Because for us, we think we are working really, when we think of free education, for example, we think that it has gone down into the chiefdoms. And therefore, it's the Royal Highnesses who can say, this is a good program. Then we feel encouraged. When we are recruiting people into public service, whether it's in teaching, health, now defense, police, we need feedback again. Are we doing positive things in this area?
Chief Hanjaliga represented the other chiefs present.
We are very much happy that our children have been employed, many teachers, the health workers. This is quite a good sign of you people, you government, ready to work with us at the bottom. And we promise that we will do what we can to work together.
However, they have an appeal.
In many cases, people stealing animals from neighbors or from commercial farmers like here. We are very near commercial farmers. We know that the government can take a step, and a very strong step. We see that some families don't have food already. We are simply presenting this case to government. We do not know how.
People are lying that there are areas where development is going on. There was nowhere, sir. Royal Highness is nowhere. So the country is in a stress. And a lot of things like you observed, Royal Highnesses, we want to do. There is so much to be done, but we will continue. We will continue to work on the things that you have mentioned and improve where we need to improve.
A request by their Royal Highnesses to enhance punishment for cattle rustlers. And I think that they are just re-echoing what their Royal Highnesses who gathered last week at Shimnenga in Namwala also highlighted. I think this is something that is coming through very, very clear and loud. And your Royal Highnesses, I would like to indicate that the Vice President has picked your issues and then will give the relevant consideration.
In Chimunya Nalumba, Zanis, in Mazabuka District, Southern Province.
Still in the news, the Ministry of Health has announced that it will conduct the 4th round of the polio vaccination campaign from October 27th to 30th, 2022. Provincial Public Health Specialist Paul Mayeya says the vaccination exercise will target all children under the age of 5. Taunga Nkoma now reports.
Government, through Ministry of Health, has been responding to disease outbreaks using different strategies, all in an effort to prevent and protect the population. And following the outbreak of polio in the neighboring Malawi and Mozambique in March this year, the Ministry of Health in Zambia started conducting polio vaccination exercise targeting under 5 children. The country has since conducted 3 polio vaccination campaigns and is scheduled to undertake the 4th campaign from the 27th to 30th October this year.
There will be also mobile outreach activities done in the markets, schools, churches, bus stations, and other meeting places. So all these places will be provided with the opportunity for the children to get the vaccines.
Northern Province Health Specialist Dr. Mayeya also highlighted the dangers of polio.
It is highly contagious, and it causes lifelong paralysis. Okay. Imagine your 5-year-old child gets this virus and they can't walk ever again. And sometimes even leads to death. We've recorded cases.
He has further urged the media to get involved in information dissemination campaign and help dispel myths surrounding the polio vaccination exercise.
We get refusals, the high rate of refusals, the myths that are out there in the communities, and they affect our coverages varying in different locations. So, like now, we've planned to start early the engagements with the key stakeholders like yourselves to help us break that barrier, okay, of people accepting the vaccines.
Taonga Nkoma reporting for Zanis in Kasama.
Center for International Forestry senior researcher Kala Mamba says charcoal production and bushfires have remained a challenge in Mushindamo district. Details in the following report.
The Center for International Forest Research, CIFOR, in partnership with the Forest Department and Forest Farm Facility, is implementing the Sustainable Wood Fuel Project dubbed Governing Mount Functional Landscapes in Mushindamo District. The organization is in Sorwezi District, sharing lessons from the Governing Mount Functional Landscape Project.
The Governing Mount Functional Landscapes Project started in 2017. We've been working in Mushindamo District, Luenge and Mashimba communities. What we've been doing in that area is that we've been pilot testing assisted natural regeneration, trying to understand how the Miombo species within that area regenerate. One of the biggest lessons that we've really appreciated is that the communities have the interest, they also have the capacity to understand how to manage these resources. They understand the regeneration processes. They are also willing to continue on their own in terms of managing these resources.
The community members shares their experiences of the project.
Ifintu fibiri firafikata ku mistake mu nchendo mutwabera ma areas ifine fimu tikutuma tumbyali kipati papite ngombe nganta kaya kamu titakamini indu tu mu titono tulefuma tulya balia kala kamu tikarusa memory so ifintu fibiri finabona muri wanga waisa fyarapi umba fimu tinga fyapi tafya kule bwino kanshi apapantu pali ngo bati tatushefe ngatwafurisha pamuliro ngombe.
The community is calling for more partners to help sustain the program once the Center for International Forest Research, CIFOR, pulls out. For Zanis News, I am Chebun Koma in Sorwezi District, Northwestern Province.
And now in education news, education authorities in Mumbwa District in Central Province have warned teachers and pupils to desist from engaging in examination malpractices. Mumbwa District Education Board Secretary Paksina Mwewa has warned that anyone found indulging in examination malpractices will face the law. More in the following report.
These are teachers that will administer internal examinations scheduled to start on 28th of October 2022 in Mumbwa District. District Education Board Secretary Paksina Mwewa has cautioned teachers to be professional when conducting the examinations.
We are seeing the world changing. It has become sophisticated. And nowadays we don't hear of learners being caught, especially this time around. We could have been hearing to say, oh, they've caught children going through an exam paper. Is it happening now? Is it happening now? It is not happening. So that colleague of mine was saying, your teachers have become so sophisticated that they don't leak the papers to the learners, but then they aid them in the classes and they know how they do it. But such are being detected at marking centers. So ladies and gentlemen, we are here to remind each other to desist from such practices.
Meanwhile, Mumba Primary School head teacher Shamenda Mosaic has a word of counsel to invigilators and supervisors.
Vigilators, like I said, they need to be vigilant. They have to be there when the learners are writing. They need not sit down. They have to watch every learner as they are writing. And then they should not be standing outside. Mostly some teachers like standing by the door. I don't know what they really do there, but one has to be in front, the other one at the back. And then let them just help the learners, maybe by reading a word that they don't understand, not really showing them the answers.
Jose has urged pupils to adequately prepare themselves for the examinations.
So all they do is just be committed and write whatever they know. It's better they fail with dignity than pass with flying colors, and then where they go, they fail to go and perform. It gives a very bad reputation to the school and these children are going to.
Maxan Ngandu, reporting for Zanis, Mumbwa, Central Province.
Maxton Ngami there with that report. And still in education news, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has delivered a 42-meter squared rectangular tent to Sipungu Primary School in Nalolo, West Bank, which will serve as a temporary classroom block. Delivering the tent, Western Province DMMU Coordinator Namukolo Kamona notes that the tent is meant to serve as a classroom learning space after the roof of a 1x2 classroom block was blown off by the wind in 2019. Sifuwe Mwangala has the rest of the story.
Government is committed to providing a conducive learning environment for all learners across the country. In this regard, government has delivered a classroom tent to learners at Sipungu Primary School in Nalolo, West Bank. The pupils were subjected to learning in a classroom without a roof after the roofs of 2 classroom blocks were blown off by wind in 2019. Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit Western Regional Coordinator Namukolo Kamona delivered the tent.
Providing the school in a tent, we believe that it will go a long way in assisting or providing an extra classroom for the school. It would have done more, but for now, this is what we're able to do.
The school administration is delighted with this gesture.
As Sipungu Primary School, we thank the government through Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, for pitching us the school intent, as we are still waiting for the renovation of the 2 blown-off classrooms under 2022 CDF.
And the district administration has called on the school authority to safeguard the tent as they wait for the classroom blocks to be renovated.
It's an exciting moment to be part of the team that has come finally to mount this tent, which will bring a very big relief to the learning that in the school. For the population of 168, we are using only 1 classroom.
To thank the government through the DMMU for the noble gesture of presenting this tent to Sipungu Primary School. As we are aware, this school had this 2 by 1 classroom block. The roof was blown off, and meaning that 4 of the classrooms were not used, and this was making it very, very extremely difficult for the learners to learn.
Sifuwe Mwangala, Zanis News in Nalolo district of Western Province.
Now, over 200 farmers in Vubwi district will no longer use buckets to water their vegetables. This is because Heifer International has given the farmers manual treadle pumps to mechanize their irrigation farming. Hope Walia reports that Vubwi District Commissioner Given Sakala flagged off the distribution of the treadle pumps to 5 agricultural camps.
Heifer International has continued to distribute money-maker treadle pumps to promote irrigation in 6 districts of Eastern Province. So far, the treader pumps have been distributed to 3 districts of Lundazi, Chipangali, and Vubwi. In Vubwi, 284 treader pumps have been distributed to farmers who are actively involved in vegetable production. Vubwi District Commissioner Given Sakala flagged off the distribution of the treader pumps, saying the pumps will enhance vegetable production in the district.
You know, being a district, Vubwi district, we've got streams, but in terms of how to draw water, to do some irrigation system, it has been a challenge. So because of you coming in, helping Vubwi district, we are so grateful.
When we stepped foot in Vubwi, this is a district that receives good rainfall, but also it is quite dry in the dry season. And so one of the identified issues was that of water, because we're getting most of our vegetables from the neighboring country, Malawi, which is very close. So when the opportunity arose to tap into this opportunity, we felt it came at the right time.
Earlier, the Vubwi Agriculture Coordinator said the treader pumps will help realize government's objective to increase land under irrigation.
You know, government in the 8th National Development Plan has put a lot of emphasis on irrigation. And we are happy that our goal of increasing land under irrigation will be achieved through the acquisition of these treader pumps.
And the farmers hinted on the benefits they will accrue from the gesture.
Mainjini yama yoendera mapetrol na madizelo yadula kwa maini kuchova chabe tapeza pa profit.
Tiwaya mikira kuopsha olosha kuja njala ya chepekera.
Hope Bwalia, Vubwi District, Eastern Province.
In our business news, the Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA has called on the citizenry who have not been complying with tax requirements to report to ZRA and normalize their operations. ZRA Commissioner General Dingani Banda said ZRA wants to promote the culture of voluntary compliance. He said this during the ZRA Northwestern Province Chamber of Commerce and Industry stakeholders meeting in Solwezi District. Here are the details.
Stakeholders' engagement is a prerequisite for any public institution that offers public services to win the support from its clients. Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA is in Solwezi District, interfacing with members of the business community on tax compliance.
We are a service-based institution, so don't fear. Approach us when you have any matters that you need to clarify, and including when you know that in the past, we've not done things correctly. What we want to promote is a culture of voluntary compliance, where on your own, you say, ZRA, in the past, I didn't know this, but now I know. Can I make things right?
The Commissioner further highlights on the benefits of paying tax.
Remember the issues of Constituency Development Fund. You are assured that wherever the money is collected, now whatever you contribute, at least for this year, 25.7 million is going back to your community for you to plan your own development.
Northwestern Province Chamber of Commerce and Industry is happy that ZRA has provided a 6-month waiver to forgive all those with unpaid penalties and interest upon applying.
With the bringing in of the waiver, we are very excited as a chamber because it is now going to give an opportunity to some of our members and to the business community in general to apply for those waivers so that their debts can actually be forgiven, and some of them will actually be given some flexible payment terms without accumulating further interest.
A ZRA client, Florence Kavula, says service provision by the authority has improved.
Yeah, portal is okay. You are able to do things on your own without taking a lot of time. So I would appreciate on that issue on the tax online too. Things are all perfectly well.
For Zanis News, I am Chebun Koma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
As the country gears up to commemorate its 58th independence celebrations, stakeholders give their different views We join Lewis Changwe in Mwansabombwe district, who caught up with an 82-year-old freedom fighter who is calling on the youth to take advantage of the freedom that the country is enjoying and direct their energies towards undertaking productive ventures. Stephen Musonda narrates that the fight for freedom before independence was not easy, saying some people lost their lives in the process.
As the country attains its 58th independence anniversary, many freedom fighters recount what was involved in the fight for freedom. In Mwansabombwe district, Stephen Musonda, 82, shares some of the strategies they used during the struggle.
Kocha maralo 1.10. Kwali kubokile fina mafyawe fe batekele ngombe 2. Kwali kocha maskulu ya fende funa kilani 3. Eyo nokwisunkotu boyo nenyimbo twale imbabukeni bukeni mtulo twamfoma bafika mwe bantu abantunga muri omfuyifira ndo muri Kongole twafuma twaisa ya unit US kama babufu kwabanye mitima yali kitashali yali.
Mr. Musonda, who steers a UNIP t-shirt of 1957, has since appealed to the youths to take advantage of the peace being enjoyed in the country by directing their energies on productive ventures.
Kufaya baposha manu kusukulu Filifini kufaya kuti bakwati amasukulu ngababa ba graduate education to foreign language.
This year's Independence Day will be celebrated under the theme Zambia at 58, promoting inclusiveness towards a sustainable social and economic recovery. Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwansabombwe.
In other news, the Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority, ZICTA, is holding strategic awareness meetings on digital fraud and online gender-based violence, GBV, in Itezitezi district in Southern Province. ZICTA Corporate Communications Manager Hanford Chaba says the authority is concerned with the increasing cases of digital fraud through the mobile money platforms. Frederick Mwansa has the rest of the story.
Zambia's sales of digital financial services has continued to rise, but as some Zambians have discovered the hard way, scammers are everywhere. A number of people have lost money while others have been victims of online gender violence. To address these issues, Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority ZICTA is holding strategic awareness meetings in Itezitezi district to assist consumers in protecting themselves from scams. Mr. Hanford Chava is a spokesperson for ZICTA.
To sensitize each other, raise awareness about issues that affect us as consumers. We have so many issues that affect us as consumers. Sometimes we receive text messages, no, send money to this number, no, sorry, I sent this money to you by mistake. We are setting up what we call the ICT hub. The ICT hub will be located at the primary school. It is the primary school. Now this is the hub for the community.
Itezitezi District Commissioner used the occasion to urge ZICTA to improve mobile communication and internet access in Itezitezi.
There are a lot of challenges in terms of technology, more especially where network is concerned. We are not able to get each other. So I think there's need to look into that challenge.
And participants thanked ZICTA for sensitizing the people.
Makani ngutwaiya kumafoni, makani makando, ali makani mabotu, nguba tuchenje kuinganya ipe hindi tuyana. So abantu beza kutuyisha, ukutupa busongo bagwamba titonse tuchenjere.
Frederick Mwansa, Zanis, Itezitezi.
We now take you to Muchinga Province, where an 18-year-old boy of Chanama village in Mafinga district in Muchinga Province has died after drowning in Bemba River. Outgoing Muchinga Province Deputy Police Commanding Officer Lucky Munkondia says the matter, which occurred on October 22, 2022 around 07 hours at Bemba River in Mafinga district, was reported at Muyombe Police. She has revealed that Samuel Swali, 34, of Tendere village in Mafinga district, reported that Mapalo Chomba, aged 18, of Chanama village in Mafinga, drowned in Bemba River. Ms. Munkondia adds that on the fateful day, the deceased, in the company of his friends, went to the river to draw water, and in the process, they began to swim, but the deceased went to an area where the water was very deep and drowned. Ms. Munkondia adds that police suspect no foul play and have since advised relatives to bury the remains of the deceased. President Hakainde Hichilema says the increment in the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, will cushion the challenges that the people of Nabwalia area in Mpika district are faced with. President Hichilema says he is aware that the community in Nabwalia area have been faced with a number of challenges such as poor road network, lack of schools and health facilities. The president said this in a speech read for him by Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungole during this year's Malaila traditional ceremony of the Bisa people of Nabwalia in Mpika district. Pamela Inambao now reports.
President Hakainde Hichilema says government is working round the clock to ensure development reaches the remotest areas. President Hichilema, who spoke through Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule during this year's Malaila traditional ceremony of the Bisa people of Nabwalia in Mpika district, said that the challenges are faced by the people of Nabwalia chiefdom will soon be a thing of the past as government is working tirelessly.
Through the Constituency Development Fund that has been raised to 28.3 million kwacha, the challenges that were raised here by Your Royal Highness Chief Nabwalia, such as poor road network, government has already allocated 200 million towards maintaining some of the waste places on the road. This is before we bring in a lasting solution of working on the road. Challenges that you are having in the area, such as having only one secondary school, can also be sorted out using the Constituency Development Fund.
And speaking earlier, Chief Chikwanda's representative Innocent Kalunga appealed to government to work on the Mpika Nabwalia Road, which he described as a death trap.
In my chiefdom, I only have one secondary. I feel the main hospital will be a good thing to bring to my chiefdom.
Meanwhile, this year's Malaila traditional ceremony has been described as colorful by many.
This year's ceremony is very fantastic. Meeting in this manner revive our unit, peace and love amongst ourselves and the country at large.
Among those who attended the ceremony are government officials, residents, chiefs from various chiefdoms, and Paramount Chief Mpenzeni, among others. Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Nabwalia, Mpika District, Muchinga Province.
And lastly, in sports, Chongwe Mayor Christopher Habenzu has reiterated government's commitment towards equalizing the recognition of all sports disciplines in the country. The mayor says more efforts are required to mainstream the minority sports by key players in the fraternity. He states that the government has been emphasizing on the need for various stakeholders in the country to support the development of minority sports disciplines, especially the non-physical ones. Havenzu, however, expressed happiness with the evolution of chess in the country and encouraged more people to take up the sport, which presents life-changing opportunities. He commended the Zambia Chess Federation and all chess players in the country for the dedication and commitment they have shown in developing the sport in the country. Meanwhile, Zambia Chess Federation Vice President Leslie Chikuse adds that the Zambian chess players have been playing exceptionally well in various tournaments and are rated among the best on the African continent. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, the headlines again. Vice President Mutalena Lumango calls on traditional leaders to help monitor government programs. Teachers and pupils warned against engaging in exam malpractices. DMMU delivers tents to Sipungu Primary School in Nalolo. And all sports disciplines to receive equal recognition. That is the end of the news. My name is Amos Zulu. Bye for now.